Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. And another day at the World Championship, another set of remarkable results and storylines. The implications of these are so widespread for the off-season and the Rostermania period which is ahead of us. Definitely you're going to want to not miss the big red button at the bottom right corner of the video. But yes, very much indeed, of course, intrigued to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you are new as always, I greatly appreciate it. I've already upset the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that. Crimsix getting ready to go as you can see here on screen. But before the matches even kick off, some craziness happened on the timeline as well. Seattle Surge decided to drop their entire organization effectively. All their players are gone, their coaching staff gone. Octane, Prestinni, Gunless, Classic and Loony, the two players that kind of got swapped into that final role on the team, and Joey Nubs, even the coach, they're gone off the team as well. So everyone has departed from Seattle Surge. Of course, we heard not too long ago really that some of these players were not happy with some of the decisions being made there from the management side. Where do some of these players go? For some of these players like Octane and Gunless, getting released from this team is probably going to be a good thing because I mean they get to actually join another maybe better squad next season. For some of these players, of course, it puts their career, I suppose, in a very precarious position. But yes, Seattle completely rebuilding. Lots to discuss on this, I'm sure, in the coming days, because some of these, what teams could they potentially go to? That is up in the air. As Octane says, officially a free agent moving into the offseason. Feel like I watched COD for 2 seasons, but no more, baby. Freedom, he says right here. So finally happy to get rid of the Seattle Surge. Clayster goes on to say absolutely squad wipe. They just get rid of the entire org. I mean, last season they built around Octane, and I mean, look, it was just Octane they kept, and I guess Joey Nubs their coach. So a complete rebuild last season with the exception of one player. And this season they're going for the rebuild again. So can they go for the three-peats of rebuilding 3 seasons in a row effectively, and well, sucking pretty bad every single season? That of course remains to be seen. But as Octane says, an absolutely no buyback. There's no way in hell he is going back to the Seattle Surge anytime soon. I'm sure he'll land on another roster. What may that be? Definitely your perspective in the comment section below would be appreciated. We'll talk more about the Seattle Surge implications tomorrow, but we've got to talk about some of the crazy matchups that happen later today as well. 3 games to go through. New York versus Minnesota Rokkr. We will discuss tomorrow and what the bracket means for the rest of the weekend. The first game up, it was Dallas Empire versus Toronto Ultra. I was really excited for this one. Every single time these teams play, it's an absolute banger of a series. And Shotzzy, again, was an absolute monster. It's so impressive to me that Stage 5 Major was a bit of I guess maybe a bit of a blip for the Dallas Empire, but they've obviously been a fantastic team since they joined the CDL. It's really been them and FaZe that have gone back and forth in terms of these matchups. The entire 2 seasons of the CDL, those have been the big dogs in terms of results. And it's kind of remarkable how like Shotzzy and ILLey, 2 guys that a lot of people would have said are kind of onliners in a way, at least when things were kicking off and Dallas got so much better last season, they actually seem to just be way better on LAN. And not necessarily way better because Shotzy's ridiculous and whatever he's playing, but ILLey especially seems to improve drastically. Especially we saw that in the last couple of maps of this series. But once again, it was the Shotzzy show early on. This guy absolutely does it all. But game 2, this is where the Search and Destroy comes back to, well, in full force really for the Ultra. Very impressive. Inside double positive. CleanX goes 9 and 6 right here, but it was Cammy who didn't really do too much in this map, but certainly he would have to do a fair bit more in the series they would play later in the day, and he was absolutely on fire in that one. And Toronto take a 2-1 series lead right here. Their control is pretty ridiculous. I mean, they completely outslayed, Dallas off the map, 32 and 16. These guys got completely bodied, and that, of course, put themselves in a tough spot, backs against the wall, but heading to a Moscow hardpoint where they just dominated. And it's really impressive. Like, Dallas Empire on this map as of late have been really good indeed. ILLey had a great map right here. He's getting hyped. Crimsix is ready to go, and yeah, the fans in the venue not necessarily going as well as they might have been. Well, a bit of a library in there at times, I'm not gonna lie. We want champs in London, let's bring that one back. But yes, Dallas Empire win it in the end. This is honestly pretty incredible, right? Because a raid, search and destroy, I really felt that was going to be Toronto Ultras. They've been so good on that map this entire season, and it was it was the final map, the game 9, when Dallas played Atlanta FaZe in the grand finals of Major 4, and they lost that, not exactly emphatically, but they effectively said at the time they'd had pretty much no chance to practice on it. So clearly Rambo, Ray and the guys had done a lot of preparation work for this, and came out absolutely swinging in this one, just about hold on for a 6-5 victory, and ILLey getting hyped on the main stage. I mean, what an important victory this was for them. So Dallas Empire win this match against Toronto to go into the winners finals, just like they did last year, beating Toronto 3-2, then they went to the winners finals, they beat FaZe in the winners finals, of course they will be playing FaZe, we'll look at it in just a second, and then they went on to win the entire thing. So maybe a bit of deja vu for these Dallas guys with a slightly different team. These were the overall performances statistically. Insight with a 1.32, Shotzzy with a 1.23, just doing it all for this squad, and Crimsix and ILLey certainly having a good time, the worst AR duo in the league. Laddies and gentlemen, Crimsix, looking at ready to go, no doubt. He is the Robin to my Batman, says, Crimsix to ILLey, maybe a duo we will indeed see for years to come. As Astro says, Search and Destroy wins championships. If we win the next match in the winners finals, they'll have made 6 out of all 9 COD Champs Grand Finals in history. That is pretty remarkable from Astro, but that is not where the series ends for the day. Simp gets announced as the MVP. This was not exactly incredibly controversial. We can talk about that, I'm sure, a bit more tomorrow, but plenty still to discuss, because Simp goes on and says, yes, I'm the MVP. I'm going to come out here against New York Subliners and put on an absolute clinic. I'm pretty sure Karma called this on Twitter, that they were going to come out and kind of dominate. And look at this, right? Simp shooting bodies. I swear, like, when he shoots bodies, he just somehow powers up and gets even better. He was dominant this game one. Cellium really turned up towards the latter half of it as well. And just all the cylinders were firing on FaZe. So scary, right? New York looked really good yesterday against OpTic. They come out here against FaZe, and I don't even think they played too bad. FaZe were just clinical. And they're just saying, look, we're here to stay, right? We haven't got anywhere after a difficult performance at the Stage 5 Major. This was just a ridiculous gunfight that Arcitys won, to be honest. And he was going off. Like, whenever the other guys just had a moment, they all died or when something dead or whatever, it was Arcitys who just stepped up, made a crazy play, and won them, well, some key rounds in this game too, but also in the game 3 as well, as, well, they come out and just straight up sweep Subliners. This was very impressive indeed. I mean, they come out here, of course, they didn't have a series yesterday to kind of warm up, and, well, all of them played fantastically well. They sweep the New York Subliners, and, well, Claystead versus the Tiny Terrors wasn't quite as exciting as maybe we were hoping it would be. Arcitys has a 1.13. I mean, look at the consistency here. In terms of deaths, it's pretty consistent, but in terms of kills, 41, 44, 43, 44. The damage on Simp was a little bit behind, to be honest, but it still drops to 1.32, as is tradition at this point. Absolutely remarkable scenes. So yes, they will move on to play Dallas Empire in the winners finals tomorrow, but still, a losers bracket match had to be determined. That was OpTic Chicago versus Toronto Ultra. Who would be the next team to bow out of the tournament? And this is a matchup where Toronto have won this matchup 4 times this season out of the 4 times they've played them. Since like Stage 2, OpTic have beaten every single team apart from Ultra. And I think like OpTic maybe beat them right at the start before they brought in Insight, but now they have Insight in the team. They've well, they haven't beat them since Insight came in, but OpTic have beaten every other team since the time that Insight came into the squad. They can't seem to get past Toronto Ultra. This was the map set, and I was kind of surprised seeing this map set, because Checkmate Hardpoint, understandably OpTic want to play it, but Toronto are very good at Checkmate, and also OpTic haven't been looking as good as of late, and I'm sure teams have been watching how OpTic played Checkmate, because they were pretty much the best team on that map earlier this season. Moscow Search and Destroy, very good for Toronto, not bad for OpTic. Raid Control, pretty good for OpTic, but also Toronto are no slouches in control, as we very well know, and it's the Raid Hardpoint where I'm like, wow, OpTic are going into a Raid Hardpoint where, okay, they want to ban a Garrison out of there maybe, but Raid is just like, it's just such a poor map for them really this entire season. They've had so many close losses on that map, and then even an Express Search and Destroy in Game 5 where they got destroyed yesterday against New York. So it seemed like this entire map set was like, I mean, I just was really favouring Toronto as soon as I saw these games, and well, especially after the game number 1, I mean, they rebound pretty nicely from their defeat to the Dallas Empire, 250-176. Again, there were some good moments for some of the OpTic guys. They looked like they could put some sort of run together, but it was Cammy, 30 and 19. He had a monster game 1. So many crucial plays from him. The game 2, I mean, like, again, some of the Search and Destroy plays you see from OpTic, it's like, what is going on? They're so separate at times. It seems like every single series, well, every other series, let's just say, they usually have one good series of tournaments at least, but every other series, OpTic are either like, they feel unprepared, or it looks like they're unprepared, or they just lack cohesion, and they're not playing together on the map, and they're taking solo chows, and it's just frustrating to watch at times, right? And Toronto, as we said earlier today, very disciplined Search and Destroy team. They are going to take advantage of that, as they did in this game. They win this one 6-3 in the end. Some good moments individually from those guys, no doubt. And well, as Zero says, Toronto's teamwork is just too good, as it is in the Search and Destroy. And that's the thing, even if this series did go to Game 5, it definitely raises the question, would OpTic even have had a chance on Express Search and Destroy if it had been the case? This is a crazy stat from Round 11 Stats. Their first blood conversion rate are champs. When they get the first blood in a round, they only win that round at 53% of the time. That is remarkable. Only LA Thieves is lower. From some perspective, Ultra, FaZe, and Empire all sitting at 100% first blood conversion at champs. If they get a first blood, they win the round every time. OpTic, barely even half the time. That definitely indicates some significant problems with that game mode. But of course, like, Control, they bounced back yesterday in this game mode up against the New York Subliners. They do so again here against Ultra. Former made a great play towards this final round right here to close out a nice little defense. They win the final defense as well to keep their dreams alive in the series, but it does not last too long. It's all over for OpTic. They bow out right here, and this was where, like, Scump didn't have the greatest series up until this final moment, where he was 27 in 15 this final map. He went on a 10 streak on the rotation from all the way from Garage round to P4, got the streaks, and he did some good things with the streaks, but they got 0 time, did the OpTic guys. I'm pretty sure they got 1 second of hill time on P5 the entire map, and you can feel for Scump, right? Because, I mean, like, he turned up when it mattered right to the end, dropped a 10 streak. It just wasn't enough for the OpTic guys. I mean, the hard points fall short. They only win the Control, which is kind of surprising given how good Toronto are with that game mode, and that's them bowing out of the World Championship. This is their joint worst result of the entire season. They placed top 6 at like the Stage 3 Major or something like that, but yeah, it's top 6 at champs, equaling their worst placement of the entire season. I mean, look, I think Scump played his heart out this weekend. I think he, obviously we don't want him to retire or anything, but I'm sure he's thinking, look, I played great, I can still compete at this level, but, for whatever reason, it didn't work out. Rostermania is a question mark, right? Because at the end of the day, OpTic have not made a grand finals all year. They've now had a very disappointing result at the World Championship. If they don't make a change at this point, I think I would be somewhat surprised, even though it's somewhat difficult to say what change you do make. Like, there's so many question marks that this raises. But yeah, very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. I'm sure we'll be discussing this one for days to come. But yeah, so let's have a look at some of the overall stats right here. As you can see, Scump had a 1.03, so not exactly his most spectacular series. Dashy had a 1.23, 87 kills. Rest of the guys are, well, not too much to be said in the statistical standpoint, because, of course, somehow OpTic managed to somehow outslay in series where they still get still lose pretty emphatically. But yeah, still, Cammy had some key moments. Like, obviously, the stats don't really reflect that right here with a 1.06. But Cammy had a couple of crucial wins, which really got Toronto over the line. And once again, like, OpTic just can't get past Toronto. Well, they move on and stay alive in the tournament. As Scump says right here, such a disappointment of a year, man. GG's to Toronto. Once again, Formal goes at so many hard L's this year. Figured we had something good heading our way. Guess not. Good luck to all remaining teams at Champs. That ends our year of COD War. Stressful ass year, no doubt. And well, this was what kind of Ryan said to finish off the video. Scump and OpTic at the present time. Very much intrigued to hear your thoughts and all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. Really upset that YouTube are good to know you enjoyed this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well. And I've grown the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you much as always. Take care. And I will see you next time.
Huge one-on-one versus Cammy. We've got ourselves a 6-point game. Over toward P5 we go, and Bance, CleanX, Ultra with the early trades. They only need 10 more seconds. Somebody from OpTic have to get here off of spawn. Scump, he dies inside of Art. Envoy also falls. Everybody beginning to drop, and there goes Dashy as well. Can anybody from OpTic get here in time? And they will not. Ultra hold off the near 100-point comeback from OpTic Chicago. The crowd, the shots, everything